Yo. So, why do we overconsume? Why, in this day and age, is everyone in overconsumption of information? Whether that be social media, food, just overconsumption of dopamine, really. We're flooding ourselves with information, unnecessary information that is causing us to live in disharmony and out of alignment with life, really. You see it in society and really everywhere you look. Like it's a lot. There's a lot of information, a lot of unnecessary information that we're putting in our minds and identifying with. So why do we do this? Why do we overconsume? Why do we feel the need to constantly distract ourselves? So there may be many different reasons. Everyone has their own reason, but for me, I see it as stemming from, let's say, a feeling of lack, a feeling of not being good enough, not having enough, or just that void, right? That void of unworthiness, or just that void of not being whole. And that can be seen through being bored, and being bored is a privilege. To be able to be bored in this day and age, it's like you're blessed, because you have the opportunity to not do anything. We should be savoring those moments of boredom. Like, it's a blessing to be able to be bored, but there's people that don't have the time to be bored. So where does it really stem from, that feeling of boredom? So when we are younger, our minds are easily conditioned and we are taught to believe that we're not worthy, or that we're not good enough inherently, and that we have to seek externally to validate ourselves. So that's what we're taught from a young age, and that's ancestral. That's taught from your parents and their parents before. It's ancestral, and if you want to break free from that, it's about breaking the cycle. It's about breaking, you're breaking that cycle, and that's a lot. That's amazing that if you're watching this, that you're even seeing this, and that hopefully this resonates with you. But so when you do get conditioned, like everyone, right? We get conditioned at a young age. It puts in us that feeling of lack, or that void. And out of that void we seek. That's just the natural mechanism. We seek for something to fill that void. And naturally, all the mind knows what to do is to look through the external world, look through information to fill that void. And it never truly works. You can find as much information as you possibly could and just flood yourself with it, but it never fills that void. No amount of material wealth or accolades can fill that void. The only way to cure that is to face that void, is to bring awareness to that void, bring it back to the light, is bringing loving awareness to that void. It's like, otherwise you're just seeking out of that void. You're You're just looking, and that comes through so many different avenues in your life. That people seek out through their whole life, through everything they do, out of that void. They're seeking for relationships to fill that void. They're seeking through with their addictions to fill that void. And that's massive. Like addictions, what are people doing? They're looking for fulfillment through substances to fill that void. That's what it is. And it just doesn't work. Like maybe in the short run you'll feel some satisfaction, and that's why we do it. We get that comfort, that little bit of you know, we may feel like we've filled that void, but like it's not long lasting. You're not actually filling that void. So when you actually start doing self-inquiry and looking at the void, that's what it's about. And a lot of fear comes up when we do that. A lot of resistance comes up, but that's the game. The price of liberation is pain, like, and uncomfortability, and that's what it is. You've got to face that void, and that's uncomfortable. But once you come out the other side and you've cleared that void and you've found that you're inherently worthy, and then your foundation is built on something rooted in truth rather than illusion, because we are inherently worthy. We are not. Our truth is we are inherently worthy. We're not inherently unworthy. That's something that's been put on us. That's something that we've learned and something that's been conditioned into us. That's not our truth. So it's about removing that which is not true within you, and that is keeping you limited in this small game, right? So we pull ourselves out of that game. We do the inner work. We thug it out, and we liberate ourselves from falsity. And it's not easy work. Like spiritual awakening and awakening to truth is like, it may be seen as all light and happy. That's what it's perceived in a lot of this day and age, right? But that's not the truth of it. The truth of it is you're facing all that shadow, all that darkness, which is keeping you from the light. So it's actually, for me, it's like the hardest thing a person can do, really. Like, we're liberating ourselves. We're breaking the cycle. We're healing generations. And I respect anyone that's resonating with this, or anyone that's on the path of removing falsity, transmuting and transforming shadow into light. It's a lot. It can be a lot. It can be painful. It can be scary, but it can also be, it's also liberating at the exact same time. And there's periods of joy, there's periods of love and more love and appreciation for life, gratitude for life. That comes when you've taken away that which is clouding the sun from shining, and you allow the sun to shine more and more, the more you remove what's clouding it. So hope this resonates with someone. I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Thanks to my 14 subscribers. Alright, see ya.